All right, how's it going, everyone? Sorry, I had to set up all my stuff. Um, yeah. Hey, babe, welcome to the stream. How's it going, everyone? All right, so we will try to continue doing some work on this course platform thing. Last stream, we worked on like the Docker Compose stuff, which took us full stream. So maybe we can actually add a feature this time. If it even lets me log in. Sometimes it doesn't work every time. All right, there we go. All right, can we actually upload an image here? Cool. All right, I think I'm just going to focus on this page. A lot of stuff we could probably work on for this page. First of all, the image you upload should probably be scaled down because right now it's huge. And we should probably not show this button or disable it until you actually select an image. And then some little stuff like this should probably have some gap or some margin. Let's go to dashboard courses, this one. And let's refresh our memory as to how this app is even set up. So we're looking for maybe course image. Okay. And above that, we have another form for editing the tile and stuff, the title. I kind of miss Tailwind, to be honest with you all. Like, I've been using Tailwind on some other projects, and it's a pain going back and forth between MainTime and Tailwind. I kind of wish I just did Tailwind on this thing. But you live and you learn. So I just want to add some margin to the bottom of this thing. I wonder if there's a way to do that on Tailwind. I mean, sorry, with MainTime. I think you can do like a stack, maybe. Is that what it's called? A stack. So I think if I did a stack and just add some spacing, that could be one approach. Don't know if that's the proper usage for that, but like this whole thing was in a stack. And then I think I can add like spacing of right extra large and see what that looks like. That's a little bit better. So this works. I think we just need to group this stuff so that the stack doesn't apply its spacing to this. So let's go ahead and put a div here. Okay. Hey, thanks, Roddy. I haven't really used Chakra UI, but I mean, a lot of people online say they like MainTime. I don't think it really matters too much. So the course image, I think I just make this a left-right type of thing. Most websites will have like your image, and then if you click on your image, you can change it and modify it. But I'm just gonna do Horizontal. How do you do a row? There's a stack and then there's a, I think it's called a group, right? So I think I want to group. If I go down, let's put the course image first. So I'll put it. This is the title thing. Okay, this is the course image. Put the course image here. Looks okay. Can I give this a max width of like 100? And then I'll put the whole thing in a group, which would allow us to not need this div. So I think I can just say group, and then I can get rid of this. Kind of. I think I still need a div over this. I would kind of like this to be one large, fully expanded thing. I'm not sure why that's not happening here. If Shirkim, I picked main time just because I wanted to learn something new. A lot of people said it was good, has a lot of good things about it. Which overall, I mean, I think it is the case. It has like a ton of pre-built components, and you can build a lot of stuff without having to like worry about going and finding all these different components yourself and pulling them into your frameworks or into your project. But for me, it's just another like extra hurdle I have to use to like learn. Um, so I'd probably move a lot faster if I just stuck with Tailwind, but I'm just trying to force myself to learn something new just to get more perspectives on stuff. Because right now, like what I'm trying to do right now, which should be simple, is I want to figure out why this thing is not fully expanded. Which, I mean, I think I could just add like a width of 100% here. Maybe? No? So there's like probably a specific mantine way that I would have to do this. The thing is, I just don't know how to do it yet. So it's probably super simple. I have a group here, and I want to make this one expand to be full. So let's look at this a little bit more. I have to make simple REST requests and React. Should I use hooks for every single one or to create a context and throw them all in here? Do you mean like the functions that you invoke to do the calls? Because you could have like a context store, like an API object, and that API object could have like a get users, update users, or something like that. The hooks, I mean, you should have hooks in your actual like pages that when the component first loads, it does the request. The question is like, where should those Axios calls live? And I would wrap them in a function and have them live somewhere else. And you can use context as a form of dependency injection to like allow your components to dynamically pull those functions in. But I'm not sure if I truly understand what you're asking. Someone says I could add self stretch to the div. Is that a main time thing? Or a CSS thing? Oh, I'm not using Tailwind. That's the problem. Let's just read through this real quick. I mean, I'm sure they have a way. Hmm. Style props, MX, auto. What are all these things? Margin, adding, acity, max width. So you can style things using the SX property, and you can use low-level CSS if you want. Someone says use a stack. Well, I'd have to. Isn't a stack vertically? I want these to be horizontal. So wouldn't it be a group? Maybe I don't want one. Hold on. You know, I guess this doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I think I'm just confusing myself. So you're saying I could use a stack and then I don't even know how to do the stretch thing. Align self stretch. Prop. I mean, maybe this stuff doesn't even have like a width on it. This is the issue. Like I'd probably have to set like width of 100% or something. Or at least on the div here, the input. I don't know how this thing works. Okay, that actually made it go larger. You know what? I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm just wasting time here. Full? Oh, it's called width of full. To set a grow prop on the containing group. Okay, maybe you're onto something. Although it doesn't like the word grow. Needs a just needs grow. And then the just pass full prop. All right, we are learning main time right now, or at least I am trying to. So like this thing, I don't want this thing to grow. Like I just want this one to grow. So do I just not add grow to that, but instead I could add grow to this? Nope, can't do that. There we go. Thank you, Andy. I have a mix and match between understanding what props are available to your main time components and what aren't, and then like using lower level CSS to achieve stuff, I guess. But this is what I was going for, so thank you for that. Upload image, I wanted to disable this unless you actually select an image. So how do we do that? We can go here, we could say disabled is equal to something. We probably want to put a file here. Okay, why is this not disabled? Okay, file. Maybe I need to refresh the page. Okay. Why is this not? All right, it's null in the console, so file doesn't exist. If I go to upload image, disabled is equal to not file. That's probably my reason. And now when I select an image, it's enabled. I click it, disable skin. All right. What a morning. All right, so I wanted to also, I think this image is a little bit too big. And again, this is not going to work with like responsiveness, but play fine. I feel like there should be some padding, but like in this entire container. I don't even know where I would add that. The admin dashboard layout. That is using something called a app shell. Bar header. Children. I kind of wonder, okay, padding. Maybe this is what I want. Okay, not as is there a way to like add more? Like is extra large really the largest you can go for padding? Evil Jaws says, are you using RBAC in your app? Not yet. I might have to add some at some point. Actually, I don't like how this course image titles here. You know what, let's not focus on these little things. Let's just try to add something cool. Like, is there a way that we can add a video? So like a part of the course. So section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's go down to here's a stack. Add a group. Okay, we're going to add another section here. So I'll just do a title. And probably make these like, yeah, I need to fix the orders of these. I have too many like H1s. So the title can be an H1, and then we have the image is a 2, and this other title is a 2. Okay. And then instead of saying my awesome course, we could say sections. right, so this one will be a little bit more challenging. We're going to have to dynamically be able to add in new sections, right? So if we just imagine we have like a box here, I guess I should just get used to using stack and group instead of divs. We want to give this some border. Is there a way to do border? BG. Okay. Kind of weird how like they only have a subset of like things you can attach directly to as props. But then everything else you have to use styles for? Like why? Maybe I'm not understanding something. But then they give you like different approaches. I'm telling you, I'm so close to switching back to Tailwind. Let's just say border, 1 pixel dashed white. Okay, here's another question. Okay, this is a group. I don't want that to be a group. I want that to be a stack. In fact, I don't think I even need to. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of trying to build. So, I mean, I could follow what Gumroad does. I think Gumroad has a pretty cool thing where they have like a little box where you can add in new courses that lives at the bottom of everything. And then you could basically upload an image here. So I'm like, let's just copy how we did it up here. Title. I don't care about the title. File input. Yeah, let's just grab this. Put that in there, and we will say upload image. We'll have to change this up a little bit. Yeah, I'm using S3 to upload images and videos. Right now, when I upload an image, it goes to S3. So I'm going to do the same thing with like the actual videos. Let's go down to file input. That needs to call set new section, and I'll say new section. Upload section. Actually, I'm gonna call it create section, and we'll have to figure that out in a second. And call it create section. At some point, I'll probably abstract these into like smaller components so that I'm not like copying pasting code everywhere. But I'm just like prototyping right now. I'm probably just gonna try to upload it the entire video once, because typically when you make a course, you split up your videos into smaller. You split up your course into smaller videos, and every video, like every section, should be like, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 minutes, which is 200, 300 megabytes. Like, I guess potentially could get a really huge videos if you're doing like 4K videos or something, which I don't think you really need that high quality videos. Mainly I use S3 because it's what we use at work. You know, it works fine. I don't know, when you say cheaper, how much cheaper is these other things you're talking about? There's tons of ways you can upload images, right? I'm just using what I'm comfortable with, and having everything in the same AWS ecosystem is usually a little bit easier from a management standpoint. All right, let's add some padding to this thing. Is padding something you can actually do? I'm a fan of a lot of padding. Like, I don't know if extra large is even enough. Shot, shots? Does that mean every time a user refreshes the page, the 200 megabyte video gets requested over again? I mean, I think there's a way to do streaming from S3. I'm not too sure. I haven't really thought about that. The video file. I'm guessing there's a main time form that we should be using, which allows us to like have to go back and read the docs about that one. All right, so we have a file, but I think what we also want is let's see, we want a input. Yeah, there's Teachable, there's Podia, there's Gumroad, which is what I use for my course. There's Udemy. There's a lot of existing services where you can upload a course. Again, this is just a learning experience, this little project. Okay, I'm looking for a... Bro, I know I use an input somewhere. Here it is, text input. Let's just grab text input. Go down here. Put it right there. And we're going to go ahead and say, name your section. Hit input props. Update. New section form. This has a title. I definitely need to put some like padding or some gap between some of the stuff. This thing probably needs a label. So where do we have labels? I don't think I'm using a label yet. And not called label? Oh, it has a label. Okay. So I could just add a label to this and I can say section title. Are you planning to upload your courses on this project in the future? Yeah, if I make another course, I'd probably use my own little course platform. Or I'll do the same approach I did for the icon generator. I'll make a course that teaches you how to build a course platform. So that as you're watching the tutorial, you're using the same application that I'll be teaching you how to build. But I don't know. Section title. Course image. You know, why is this not a title? Like, why do we have a title here? If this thing actually allows you to put a label, I could just say course image, and then I should have a label right there. Yeah, I don't need a title there. All right, so as far as like this padding, we got to fix that. There's just no padding going on there. So I kind of wonder, file. This already has some padding, so I want spacing. Is that what it's called? See what happens if you do that. It does absolutely nothing. And the reason it doesn't do anything is because there's a form here, so the spacing wouldn't work. So I would have to like, I could put the spacing on the form here, or put this whole thing in a stack. Let's go back and look at the form, because I think if we had an actual like main time form here, it might make stuff easier. Use spacing props and stack. Yeah, they just use a normal little form here. So kind of weird. I'll just do that. Whatever. Not happy with that, but it works. So this thing, section title, this thing needs a label to say section video. Then I should probably get rid of the video file. Create new section. Not too shabby. All right, so if I were to name this hello world, actually, let's make sure this is actually, I'm not going to do the disabled thing on this, but I do want to make the file required as well. Is there a way to do that? I gotta just say required. So if I click on create section, click it again. Okay, well, it should have submitted there, so I'm not sure why. Adding required in the file input did not seem to actually make it required. But whatever, we'll figure it out. So on the form, let's go to create section. We want to probably prevent default so it doesn't refresh the entire page. Okay, so a couple things we still have to do. We have to upload the whole thing, like the video needs to go to S3. The model needs to be created and uploaded to Prisma, or uploaded to the database through Prisma. Let's go to Prisma. I'll start there. And we can go ahead and say a course has sections. Okay, so I'll make a section model. I could just have an ID, whatever. Needs a title. Maybe at some point we'll add a description. But let's keep this simple. We will need an image ID. Actually, I'm going to call this a video ID. And then this thing needs to point to a section. I'll say sections. Section is an array. I should save this and it should automatically add in all the stuff. I don't like how it makes this capital. Course ID, video ID. That seem fine? A place to store the video. I don't like how this is defaulted. This video ID should be required. Title should be required ID. I guess that's fine. So let's go in npx prisma db push. That should update my schema in my database and all that good stuff. So now I should have access to save that into my database. Let's go back here. A couple things we're gonna have to do. Okay. We need to upload the video to S3. And then we have all that code above that does that. And then we need to mutate to create a section. So first thing I'm going to do is resign URL mutate. Look at this code real quick and just double check how this works. Takes in a course ID. Takes a new image ID. So I was going to think of a way to maybe re-provision this so it's more generic and we can use it for both approaches. But I'm not sure if I actually want to do that because an image has a different max upload size than a video. We might have different key prefixes for videos versus images. This has to call a different thing here. So I might actually just copy this thing, but then rename it to make it more specific. So create presign post, say video URL. Create presign URL for video. It works. And this would need to be I think if you read YouTube's terms of service, if you try to host unlisted videos, that breaches their terms of service. Like if you have a paywall and then the paywall is for watching unlisted YouTube videos, I'm pretty sure that goes against their terms of service. At least that's what someone told me, and I'd rather not risk that. All right, so we want to find the course. The course is not found. Throw an error. Okay, cool. Make a video ID. And we want to create a section. Okay, so we have to go ahead and say create a section where course ID is equal to course.id. We got the video ID, which is going to be a new ID. I'm probably missing title. Add in title. That would have to just, we just default it to an empty string for right now, and then later on we can kind of modify that probably. You know, I don't like how this is making a course. I'm sorry, making a section. I think I might actually say, I might make another one called create section. So it'd be like a 2-part upload. So given a course ID, we want to get the course, make sure it exists. We might not even need to do that. like we could probably just go ahead and just create the section based on the course ID that was passed in. And the backend would either just throw an error or just like create some arbitrary record that's not attached to anything. I'm guessing it would throw an error because you're trying to set a course that doesn't map to anything, but it might not. I don't know. So for video ID, we can just make this empty for right now and then come back later and just like populate it with a real ID. Sorry, I'm just like thinking. Okay, don't want that stuff. Don't need the pre-signed stuff. Let's just return the section that was created. I'm just gonna keep the await in case I have to come in through here and like add stuff. So when we create a section, we actually do want a title. So I'll say title g.string should be required. Title should be input.string. Sorry, input.title. Again, video ID we will fill in at a later point. Or we could just fill in it now. We could just create the video ID. Maybe we'll do that. Let's just do that. So we'll make the video ID and we'll just use that. All right, you guys all lost? So what I want to do is we're going to go back to here. And we need to, first of all, create a section. Create section mutation equals API course. Yeah. Section mutation. Yeah, the person who made a comment of I love TRPC, never want to move to the next server components. I don't think I will until TRPC decides to. I think I'll probably end up getting away from TRPC when the alpha server actions is stable. Because I think at that point, like, you have the complete type safety between your front end and your back end, and you can just invoke functions from your front end and get all that, information that you need. I'm trying to think of why we need TRPC at that point. Because other than that, I mean, React query, you could still just, or I guess it's called TanStack query, you could still pull in if you need it. But TRPC was just like, in my eyes, is just get that type safety. But I don't know, we'll see. I'm sure it's going to take them like 6 months before that stuff goes stable. Random dude. I'm working on an app where you can create courses, and for those courses you can create different sections and upload videos for those sections. Okay, so I want to call this, and we want to pass in some data. So like we want the course ID, which I believe is just already in the top, and then we also want the title, which I believe is in the form, which I don't know how we get that, I forget. Form data pinned, the name. Guessing it's this. Somehow we have to get the data from the form. I do it up here, so how do I do it up here? On submit. Value. I think I'm supposed to do it like this. This thing takes in the values. Which is not really type safety yet. I mean, it's not really Sorry, I'm like jumping around. That's the problem when you work on a project. Like I only work on this project every Sunday. So like when 6 days goes by and I haven't seen any of this code, I load it up and I'm like super confused again. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna inline it just for right now. Um, how am I liking main time? I don't know. I really don't know. Hey, thank you so much for the super chat, Surya K, for the 500. I don't know what currency that is, but I appreciate it. Hey, thanks for dropping by, Peter. Have a good day. Have fun with your kids. Okay, cool. 500 Indian rupee. $6. I'll take it. That's like you know, give me 1 second. My cat is like playing with toilet water right now. I'll be right back. Actually, I thought I set up a BR back screen. Hold on a second. Look at that. I'm getting fancy with my little things. I'll be back in like 2 seconds. Async is not defined. So let's just test it out. I should be able to submit the form. That should create a section for me, and that should print out the console. Okay, so let's go here, type in testing. I don't think the requirement works for file for some reason. So we click it, and binary property of undefined create. Internal server error. So the backend. I think I find it useful. I think it's like more of a subconscious thing. Like I don't even notice that it's on, but I think it does help my eye, like lead my eyes to the indents better. I don't really know. I don't know if I just keep it on because I'm lazy to turn it off, or it actually helps and it's become like this, you know, unconscious helping thing. Failing. Cannot read property of undefined course. That's the one thing I don't really like about TRPC. At least maybe I need to configure it better. Is that like when it throws an error, it doesn't give you a stack trace. Like where's my stack trace? Is this it? No, I think that was a compile error issue. Course.create section cannot read property of undefined reading create. So Prisma. Oh, this is one of the stupid things. This is also something I very, very dislike about Prisma. And let me know in the comments if you know why this happens. When you change your schema, like I often have to stop my server and do a hard restart on it. I'm not a fan of that at all. I ran into so many, like I wasted so many hours trying to figure out why stuff's not working because I just needed to restart my server. Kind of annoying with Prisma. Like it's the worst developer experience. I'm so close to switching over to Drizzle, but at this point I'm so like proficient at Prisma that I just still want to switch. All right, so we created the section and we get back this information. Okay, and on that model, we get back a video ID. We got to use that video ID to upload to S3. What we should also probably do is, excuse me, is clear out this, list out the sections that were created. So let's let's upload the S3. So we got all this logic up here where I already do all the S3 upload. It's kind of it's a lot of stuff. So I might abstract this away. If I want to abstract this, where can I abstract? This is a different mutation, so I can't abstract there. This could be abstracted. This could be abstracted. This could be abstracted. This could... File has to be abstracted. Setting the file back to null. Refetching the course. These things have to be after upload. Okay, we'll try. I don't know if I'll be able to do this successfully on a stream. But let's just go ahead and say const upload file to S3. Actually, not const. I'll call it function. And it calls this code. This is how I like to extract stuff. Just pull out the code into a function. Figure out what needs to be kind of modified. So like this could be, what's course ID? Pre-signed mutation. Let's just call that pre-signed mutation. But then this needs a course ID. I'll just call it get pre-signed URL and we'll call it. Okay. So whatever callback you pass in has to figure that out. And I'll make that an object. Get back the data. Now file needs to be passed in. And that could be a file. Get pre-signed URL. I'll just say it's a function right now that returns URL fields. And then file, a file. Form data, okay, take the form data, append all that stuff, that works cool. URL, that's fine, post form data. Yeah, I think that's fine. Why is this complaining? I'll find async. I guess I can't use that on a type, so I have to use promise. Promise, which returns an object that looks like that. Hello? Oh, okay. Hey, thanks, zombie. And I leave. What am I doing? Working on this this little app. Why is this complaining? Unsafe assignment of any value. File. Fields. Fields any? Okay, fields needs to be a record. That's what it needs to be. Thank you, 7RS7. All right, so let's see if this works. I'm going to try to, first of all, use it down below. You know, let's just use it here. So we check if there's a file. If not, we can call await on this function. This thing needs to I don't know, this interface kind of seems kind of weird to me. I might need to fix this. But we'll pass the file, which if we did this correctly, we don't need any of this code. And it should work. Like we should be able to upload a new image here. Cool. Seems like it's working. I'm not a fan of this callback function thing. But I guess it works. So we're going to copy a lot of this code, and we're going to go down here, and we're going to just go ahead and paste that in. And what we want to do is, first of all, we don't want to do any of this stuff unless what is it called? It's not the file. It's called like the video file. No, I don't know what I called it. Oh, like new section file, isn't it? Should probably rename that as well. So if there's not a new section defined, return, otherwise we create the section. This will get back a video file. So we can call a different method here. So we're gonna have to go up here and copy this and make one called create pre-sign URL for video mutation. Okay. So we're gonna call a different mutation. That thing needs to take in why does it need a course ID? I feel like this should take in a section ID. But we'll figure that out, I guess. So file, we can say new section. Query fetch. Yeah, I don't know. The point of live streaming is so that you all can maybe learn something from me building. And you're asking about a MERN stack stuff, which is kind of unrelated to what I'm doing right now. Should I learn data structures and algorithms? Yeah, I mean, you can invest time learning them and trying to do some leak code problems if you want. I don't find them that useful though, to be honest. I think it's better to just build something. Made the icon for my next app with your icon generator. Thanks for that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad you retracted your rude statement. I like it. We're learning here. All right, so this thing, I don't wonder if this should be like a Yeah, I don't need to create a section here. I think this will take in a section. Video ID, video ID. We don't need to create a video ID. What's up, MP? Welcome. What games you play? I haven't really played that many games in a while. I used to do a lot of StarCraft 2. CSGO, the fun one. All right, is this thing working? This thing needs a section ID. So section dot go. To double check security of this, like the only person who can hit this endpoint is someone who is authenticated. They pass in a section. We get that section out using that section ID. If it's not found, you throw an error. I think we also want to say if section dot user. That's a problem that we don't know if this is associated with the user. So like, you have to fetch the course, verify that the Harold says, hey Cody, do you have a video or like a blog about setting up VS Code, plugins and settings, configure something, the essential stuff? I have, I think, a couple of videos about VS Code, like shortcuts and extensions. I don't have a blog. I think I might actually fetch the course as well, because I want to make sure that no one can just randomly overwrite sections. This might be over engineering at this point, but I guess better safe than sorry, right? So I want to grab the ID where section has a course ID, and we want to say if the course, I mean the course would be defined. If the course dot user ID, wait, why is this not working? Why is course ID possibly undefined? I'm just going to do this. Okay, maybe that's not good. I'll just do it proper. If there is no course ID on that section, for whatever reason, I need to go probably fix the schema. Section has no course. I guess if you did like a cascade delete, but like you didn't do a delete, you did a unset or set null or whatever, then I guess this could be null. But all I'm trying to do is like verify that the user who's trying to update the section in the course actually owns it. So if they're not equal, like if the course does not belong to that user, we're going to throw an unauthorized, forbidden. You do not have access to this course. There. Now this is authenticated. Albert, have you tried Theo's upload thing? I haven't tried it yet. Have you tried it? Does this thing reset at the end? All right, second thing I'm going to do is the sections. When we fetch back a course, we kind of want to get all the sections and display those, right? So let's go up here. We have like a course query. And we want to make sure, course by ID query, I'm going to say include sections true. I want to get back all the sections on the course so we can use that. And then somewhere down here, we are creating the new section on a stack. The form, stack, sections. I mean, right now so castle O0x, the admin portion of this dashboard is basically only me. Like I would be the only person uploading videos. I'm not like fully cloning Udemy and allowing like a bunch of different content creators to upload videos. This is just for, I can log in and upload some videos. So I will be compressing them beforehand. But I guess you're asking, is there a library? I just export my videos with like MP4 or something. I'm guessing there's some type of compression that happens on that. I could be wrong. I'm not really good at the whole video audio side of things and streaming side of things. I click the record button and I export it and I hope it's good. Okay, so for every section, I want to display section dot title. Canary property of undefined. We want to make sure this thing has section. ASDF. All right. So for title, let's do a title here. We'll say orders a 3 and we'll say section.title. Man, we have to worry about like editing a section too. That's going to be fun. Albert says, I have not actually, we use GCP at work, so I haven't had a use case for it yet. We actually want something similar, but for GCP, but building something for our architecture isn't worth it yet. Yeah, I think the only thing I'd have against the upload thing or just any thing in general where like you don't own your bucket, like all your files are put somewhere else. There's security reasons to that, right? So for example, where I work, we upload a bunch of like court documents to a bucket. I personally would feel much more confident if the files were uploaded to a bucket that's in our own Amazon account than uploading those PDFs to some random third-party library or service and hoping that they are secure enough to never leak those PDFs. So it's like a trade-off. Like if you're uploading not that sensitive stuff somewhere, then yeah, you could probably just use whatever, things out there. But I am curious. I would like to see his upload thing kind of take off. I mean, it's a good idea. And he has like tons of followers, so I think he could probably sell whatever product that he makes easily. What am I using for form submitting? I'm just using the default thing that's baked into mantine, whatever that is. All right, let's see if the videos work. I think the bucket is public right now, so technically we could put a video right here and set it to that video URL. I can't log into Amazon right now because my phone is using to record my face, and I have to use my Google Authenticator. But we might get away without needing it. So if I did a video here, I don't know what it is. It source? What's up, El Pupper? Doing well, just you know, streaming. Doing my thing. All right, so there's an S3 bucket locally at this port, and we could probably get the video ID here. So let's just try this out. I have not tried Cloudflare before. Let's see. Why am I not using the app directory? I started this project before the app directory was stable, and I just don't want to refactor. What I've noticed with the app directory is there's a lot of libraries that just do not work with the app directory. So like, you end up having to take all their stuff and like wrap it in your own component with like a use client at the top, or else it just won't work with like the server side next stuff. Kind of a pain, right? So it's like a lot of extra work. Or, I mean, you could technically make every page like a use client, and then it would just kind of work with everything. But then it kind of defeats the purpose of like the server side rendering. Saw your last stream. Have you solved the issue with your local Docker? Yeah. Right now, all my Postgres database and my Docker, my S3 server is running in Docker right now. That all works fine. But yeah, I will switch to the app directory at some point. I think if I do any new projects, I'm pretty sure I'm going to start with the app directory. But I just have to figure out like how does TRPC come into play with all that. Like I think you could still use TRPC. I have to check. Does anyone know who uses the T3 stack? Have they updated their repo to use the new app directory with TRPC? Because if they haven't, I'm not gonna try to like use it. Okay, why is my, let me make sure I can upload a video. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, do this. Here's a small video. Do an upload. Okay, that one worked. Why can't I play it though? Oh, because I'm not doing it right. There's a PR on work in progress here after you're still in the next branch. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, there's no rush. I mean, I feel like a lot of people, when they see something new comes out, they're rushing to switch over to it. And it's fine. I made a video on this. It's like, it's okay not to live on the bleeding edge, because when you switch over to the bleeding edge, you start bleeding with all the extra stuff you have to figure out and bugs you have to fix. So I'd rather the people who maintain the T3 stack to like do all that work, and then when it's good, I'll come and just swoop in and use it. I think this is an MP4, so I'll just go ahead and do that. Nailing it. I don't know why this video is broken though. There, we have a way for people to create new sections on the course. They can upload videos. I'm kind of curious, does it download the entire video when this page loads, or is it only when you play it? I think it's only when you play it. So someone asked earlier, like, am I chunking this up into parts so that it doesn't like use a bunch of bandwidth? Notice here in the requests, it was 495 bytes, but when I click play, you know what? Forget what I was saying. Let me try uploading a large video. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just like, do I have a really large video? This one's 54 megabytes. Let's go ahead and create that one. I might need to add a loader because it's going to take a lot longer. This is a 7-minute video, 50 something megabytes. Refresh the page. Where does media actually come in? Because like you guys just saw that, right? I uploaded a 50 something megabyte video. I'm not seeing 50 something megabytes for media. So I'm guessing there's some type of streaming going on. Yeah, it looks like it chunks it in by default. Like I bet you if I zoom fast forward, it would download another chunk. Cool. So we got the title for the course, for the section. It'd be cool to delete these if there's a way to delete this stuff. Which should be, what's up, Max Programming? By the way, y'all, Max Programming just jumped to the stream. He's another YouTuber. You can go check him out here. Here's his channel. Where's my chat? There you go. Go check him out. Give him a subscribe for me. He does next stuff as well, I believe. Okay, I think I'm gonna add in one more feature before I drop. Just the ability to delete these sections. Just completely delete them. It won't be too hard to add in. If I go to my course route, I'll just add another one called delete section. Just take in a section ID, section delete where ID is section input, section ID. Cool. We probably also want to do that whole like get the course first and check to make sure you have access to the course, because we don't want any authenticated user to come in here and just blow away the course. So I'll do something like that, where actually, first of all, we're going to get the section. Const section is equal to this. And then we're going to get the course based on the section course ID. If there is no section, I guess we could return the deleted section. That's typically like the proper way to do things, right? We tried dev env. Is that like another Docker replacement or something? I haven't heard of that before. Yeah, TS rest. I'm okay not using REST again, unless I actually need like a public API. I really like TRPC. Um, I mentioned earlier, I'm going to switch over to server actions when they're stable because I do think that that might make things a little bit like it might kind of replace TRPC. I'm using the T3 stack, but I'm not using Tailwind. Yeah, and I don't use an SJS, so. What payment API am I going to use? I probably use Stripe. That's what I've used in the past. Yeah, I want to watch his. Oh yeah, I forgot all the validation is built in the TRPC. I need to watch his video. I haven't watched it yet. I just anything with server actions, I'm not touching yet. Like, I don't touch stuff that says alpha or beta. I wait for stable, and then that's when I switch over to it. And as you can tell now, I haven't even switched over to the app directory because I'm waiting for the TRPC team to like figure out all the things that need to happen to get that working with the app directory. So I was trying to add a way to delete. I think I added the method here. Delete section works, probably will work fine. Bring in that mutation, and we just need to add this file is reaching a point where it's getting kind of large. Like I should probably refactor it. At the very least, I could split up into sections and then split up into this. Like we have two different components here, and they don't really share any state. So I think it would help the code base if I split those up, but I'm not going to do it in the stream because that'll be another can of worms. Delete, 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 delete. I'm trying to delete something. So inside of this stack, create a new section. I just add a delete button on the far right. How's that sound? So somewhere with the title, which is here, could add a group. Wow, really, Tina? Shout out to my wife for the $10 super chat. Going from my bank account straight to my bank account. I love it. Thanks, babe. I appreciate it. I love you. I'm just adding one more feature, and then I'm going to come downstairs. Are the girls still sleeping? Yeah, this file is just becoming too hard to like figure out where stuff is. I need to componentize stuff. But as you guys know, I do that later on. I try to do the rapid prototyping first, put it all in a file, and then when I see where I can like pull stuff out, that's when I do the refactoring. And this file is reaching the point where it's getting harder and harder for me to like quickly find different places in my code base. So like I have to kind of figure that out. Variant color red. See if that button shows up for me. It showed up in the wrong place. I'm adding it to the wrong thing. I need to add it to this. Albert says it replaces Docker Compose for us, but has a lot of use cases. Simple examples: if you define packages you want to use on your repo, Node, Postgres, on your repo, and it only, which means you don't need to install it globally on your machine. Packages available when you see it into the repo. I'm not sure I understand what you're saying, but I'll check it out. It's called env dev. Um. Oh, you guys knew I was gonna sneeze, huh? You saw it coming. I tried to mute, and I switched to BRB. But y'all saw it coming. Yeah, it's funny because this file's not even that big. It's I mean, I guess it's relative. 287. It's like medium for a React page. I think sometimes we do get too caught up on like, oh, we have to like make small little functions for everything, and then you end up having like 20 files for a single page, and you think to yourself, man, now I'm just jumping around between a bunch of files to add a feature to a page, versus instead, when everything's on the same page, it's super easy to just like go to different lines that you like kind of know or search text. I'm just doing a bad job at it, right? Like I could probably find the section.title, takes me straight there, and I could have just added the group there, but I wasn't thinking that way. I want to space this. Spacing. No, it's not spacing. It's called something else. Yo, how do you push these things? I feel like we just did this on the stream. I've already forgotten about it. Like I want to expand. I guess I could do it on the title. I could do an SX, and I could do a flex of 1. If that works. Okay. So now what we need to do is when you click on delete, I'll say on click. We're gonna just call a function here. One thing I've been kind of also debating in my head is like just putting the code inline directly here on the button versus putting it at the top of the file. Keep going back and forth. Like at one point, I feel like just having the code here makes it a lot easier to just like, it's kind of like Tailwind. The code's there. You don't have to go and jump back and forth and back and forth. All the code you need is right on the button. Kind of gets, it looks like it's hard to get used to and it seems sloppy, but like it does makes it the developer experience better. Especially if the function is not reused anywhere, you automatically get the type safety. You don't have to go and like define type safety everywhere. I don't know. The one thing I've realized is that I don't have a good preference as to what I want, which is why my code just looks a little sloppy. But my code works. That's cool. All right, so we want to do a confirm. I'm going to say if. Is it called a confirm? Are you sure you want to delete this section? Question mark. I'm going to say if we're not confirming, I will just return early. Async here. Yeah, I think that's a good rule of thumb. If the function is 100% reusable, move it to the top as a utility function. If it's not used by anything else, keep it in line. You should make that project template colors more brighter than your other project. All right, moment of truth. Can I delete this one? Bye. How did that refresh the page though? What? Why is that refreshing? Oh, it's because of the confirm. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's refreshing the refetching the courses. I feel like that's something I should have. Yeah. I was thinking that the confirm dialog is like I'm refocusing on the browser. So I might just manually put it there because at one point I'm going to get rid of the confirm. I'm going to forget about it and then like it won't work. Yeah, I agree. Manually calling it. That's the one thing I don't really like about React Query is that like it just fetches data all the time a lot. And it can kind of screw you over. And the caching has screwed me over too, where like you tell it to refetch, but for some reason it just doesn't give you the data, and then you realize, oh, I forget it's caching stuff. So I think you should opt into the caching and opt into the refetch on focus when you can. Otherwise, like you'll notice it's just doing tons of queries all the time. All right, we added quite a bit here. By quite a bit, I mean like one feature. So we can click on that one. I need a loader. Let's just do a to-do here. Let's just to-do all this stuff. I don't even know if we want this anymore. So on the sections panel, add loading state when creating and uploading a new section / file. Add loading state when uploading a new course image. Add a description to the section. It'd be cool if we had like a markdown editor right here and you can actually type in like, in this video, we're going to do this, that, and the other. Also, delete the file from S3 when deleting a section. That's something that we're going to have to do because right now there's just a bunch of files sitting around orphaned in S3, which we don't want. We want to go ahead and make sure we delete those. I don't think there's any error handling here. Oh, the section video. Section video required doesn't seem to be working. Integrate that with the mantine form. Oh, okay. Description mantime as a rich text editor. Hopefully, a markdown editor. So this is like a good example as like how much work goes into programming. You see this little box here, and if you're not a programmer, you're like, oh, dude, this is simple. But then when you think about it, you have like validation rules. You have to add in loading states. You have to make sure that users can't double submit this great session. So I need to make sure I disable that disable button while submitting. Like behind the scenes, this is actually doing quite a lot of work because it has to create a section and then it has to upload the file to S3. Just it's interesting. I don't know why I'm pointing that out, but I'm gonna commit what I have. I'm gonna go ahead and say like ability to upload course video sections. I'm glad that I got this feature done today. Like this project has reached the point now where it's like reaching the MVP territory, right? It's like I can actually like create course and upload all my section files. There's so much more I have to do here. Like for example, ability to reorder these sections. That was probably not too important, but like when you have like a bunch of sections in your course, you want to be able to drag and drop them around because, you know, I don't know how important that is. Must have, could live without. I'm gonna kind of prioritize these features. Some of them are like nice to have, and some of them are like, we gotta have this. Let's see. I'm dealing with 5,000 lines of spaghetti code. That sounds like a nightmare. Yeah, it's just a hard, like, where does the line get drawn of, like, when is a file too big? When have you separated, like, the concerns of components and stuff? What's up, Abudi? I don't know if you're still here. I didn't mention when you joined. A function used more than twice, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Theo has a lot of good takes. What's up, Cody? How are your sales in the course after you made the video on it? Yeah, I could share with you all. Like, it actually did really well. There's, if you want to learn one marketing strategy, it's make a video talking about how much money you made on a course. Because, let me show you. All right, I want you guys to guess which day is the day I made a video talking about how much my course has made in the past month. Which day is the day I made that video? Here. So, I mean, it's just funny. Marketing is funny. I made a video talking about all the money I made in the past, what is this, 30 days or something, 28 days. And then I made all those sales from that. My coupon code sold out 50 copies within like the first day. And then it just drops back off again, which is cool. But so far, this course is still kicking along. Until people reach the point where they don't want to learn about the pages directory, and they're going to be mad that they bought a course that's on the pages directory. But all courses expire at some point, right? Let's see what else we got. I mean, if you guys can think of any more features to add to this, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll like adding to feature list. Cool. Yeah, I'm happy with this so far. Any questions? Let's see. I like to put the functions above. I don't know why the JSX looks too messy with functions inside. That didn't refresh. Oh, okay, we're already there. Yeah, you can disable the focused window focus fetching. Is it typical for a component to re-render 5 to 6 times on an initial load? I guess it's possible. I mean, the page has to load, and then if you do any AJAX requests or like any additional things that need to set more state, then yeah, React is just going to keep on like firing off until it's all settled. Is main time compatible with Tailwind CSS? I never heard of it. I don't think main time is one of those things you want to use as CSS. It's kind of like an all-inclusive component library. So I would probably not use Tailwind and just use the SX property they provide you and whatever other properties they provide you. They also have like a styled components approach. What's the difference between the MERN stack and the T3 stack? I mean, MERN stack uses Mongo, T3 stack uses SQL databases. MERN stack typically doesn't use Next, although I guess you could technically use Next. But the E in MERN stands for Express. So if you're using Next.js, like technically you're not using the MERN stack. Yeah. Pretty much what Max Programming said. Yo, how do you grow on Twitch? Like I have like one Twitch viewer right now. Like I gotta switch over to Vim. I gotta switch over to NeoVim to get viewers on Twitch. I think that's the trick. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. So you guys feel free to check out that repository if you want to look through my hacky code right now. I'll post a link to it. There's the link to the course. Everything that we did in the stream should be there. Other than that, I mean, I have a Discord channel. You're welcome to join if you want a place to talk to some other developers or hang out or ask me questions. Sometimes I'll jump in there and talk to people. And yeah, thanks for joining the stream. Hope you guys learned something, had some fun. Gonna go ahead and drop off though. So later, everyone.